Yo, welcome to another episode of the BJJ Goons podcast. I'm one half of the team, Tim Spriggs, a.k.a. the Mushmaster, a.k.a. Blast Double Poppy, a.k.a. the head coach of the Joppa Combat Club, a.k.a. the leader of Team Spriggs, and the founder of the biggest party in professional wrestling, the Champagne Campaign. And with me, as always, every week is...
Yo, what's up, everybody? It's No New Nico Ball, a.k.a. the Crossface Killer. That's all I got, just one, but it's a golden move. You'll love it if you ever roll with me and get to feel it and experience it. It's all I really need.
Yeah, I'm up early today. This is the earliest we've ever recorded this podcast.
Yeah, right? And oh my God, it has been a night. It has been a night.
It has been a night. How'd your night go, Nico?
It was very long. It was really nice though. Like I had to go to Baltimore. So I live in DC. If y'all don't know, Tim actually lives up closer to Baltimore. There was an event.
Yeah.
Some clients of mine were throwing. I did a photo shoot to launch their brand and their house of things. So they had an event, and I called a ride with somebody. And he just took his sweet time bringing us back to the city. So I got back at maybe 8:30, and we're filming.
Holy moly, really?
Yeah, man. Yeah, I did catch a little nap. It was a very interesting night. It was dope. I don't do well in social situations sometimes. I hate being out and about, but I was sitting on the couch about to shut down, and then somebody else that I know and I work with, he came through. So we started chopping it up about business, because I'm actually going to be going with him to a convention, a 3-day convention that they're having out in VA, and filming for him, filming his content, because he's just gotten to the point where he doesn't have enough time to do the editing and all that other stuff. So it's going to be a real dope opportunity to go to this event and to, get actual retainer fee, start working with him on a monthly basis on his content, which is dope.
That's what's up, Nico.
Yeah. But it's definitely, I'm going to take that money and buy a car, because, oh my God, I hate not being able to just hop in my car and drive home. Baltimore is an hour away. I was pricing out them Ubers. It's $100 Uber.
You might as well be going through the land of Westeros, trying to get from here to Baltimore without a car. So, hopefully you get that paper. I'm speaking in existence. You're going to get a nice brand new car with leather heated seats, because it's about to be winter. I'm just gifting you that in the ether. I'm just sending that out there.
Yeah, I need it.
My night was good. I went to Elite Pro Wrestling Alliance in West Virginia, had a nice little match, semi-main, killed it. My team won. Pro wrestling's taken off. I got to go get another physical for this really important wrestling company so that I can do some work with them. So wish me luck, because dealing with any kind of healthcare thing in this country is a pain in the ass, and it's just so much bureaucratic red tape. I don't know how people don't go ballistic.
Yo, I have been having that problem recently, actually, because I'm supposed to sign up for health insurance through my job now, and yo, it's expensive. It's a whole headache. It took a lot of research. I had to put a lot of time and energy into it. So, I definitely feel from you. You said you were going to the urgent care, walk-in type. It really is bad. The way, paying for health insurance makes me just be all right, I'm going to finish out this school year, and I'll move back to Brazil, baby. Back to Brazil.
It'll make you want to be a socialist or an anarchist really fast. I pay for health insurance, but the fact that I have to wait to get something done that's really important, and it's not even a procedure. It's just, I just need to get this shit done. But they're we can't treat you because you pay somebody money to make sure to cover your ass. But if they can't cover your ass in a timely fashion, we can't help you. That has to go against your Hippocratic oath. But nonetheless.
Yeah, they be booked up. I know for a lot of basic services, I'm not going to lie, I go to Planned Parenthood, because they have they try to have like primary care physicians, and they might not have all the things, but you can actually get appointments there. If I try to call like the actual doctor, it's like I can get an appointment like maybe a month, 2 months out. Like, it is a pain in the ass. But good luck with that. And when the hell did you get back from West Virginia?
I got back like around like midnight last night.
Dang.
It was a quick trip, you know. I kind of live, well, not that far, kind of far, but it was a nice road trip. It wasn't as brutal as some of the other road trips that I've had. It was a shorter card, so I didn't have to stay out too late. Just went home, went to bed, and then woke up bright and early to record the greatest podcast in the history of grappling.
Oh, yeah. It's nice being up early, like putting in that work. No days off. I wish you weren't wrestling so much so I could try to maybe convince you to go on like a jiu-jitsu road trip down to Virginia Beach, because I got to go see Diego Obispo and I don't have a car. So it's like I could rent a car, or I could find somebody that's trying to go train with Diego Obispo down in Virginia Beach. Like, because I definitely just missed the competitions down there. Like, TLI just went down there.
Yeah, killed it as usual. Always got an army of guys. You know, this new killer's getting born every single day at Team Lloyd Irvin. You gotta love it.
Yes, you do. So I guess I was gonna ask you if you had watched the fights last night. UFC was on, and apparently not if you were in West Virginia.
I watched a few of the finishes. I understood some of the developments that went down. I'm not surprised that the matches went down the way they did. I figured Weili Zhang would whip some ass. I figured that Dustin Poirier would beat on Michael Chandler. And I had a hunch. I believed that, you know, Pao Tan, is that his nickname? Poatan. How do you say it in Portuguese? Anyway, Pereira, he would beat the brakes off of Israel Adesanya. Close at the end of the first round where he was rocked, but man, that left hook. Educated left hand by Alex Pereira.
He said educated left hand.
It is. That's what they call it. Like, his lead hand is just
calls it that?
Boxers.
He's like, oh yeah, it's just like thinking out there on its own.
Yes.
That is the thing about boxing. We were talking about boxing before. Like,
yes, absolutely.
In an episode. I love training boxing.
As Master Lloyd said, you got to have the dick beaters ready.
The what? Oh,
the dick beaters. Your hands.
I have not heard that one, but okay. Contact. But yeah, true.
Yes, that's what you need to have, hands, and you got to be able to strike. We talk about it all the time. It's mixed martial arts. It is fighting. And yes, grappling is a huge part of fighting. It is very important. But man, if you got venom in your hands, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, somebody got to tell that to Mackenzie Dern, because she kept trying to go in with them like Eminari rolls, like going in on foot locks. It's like, yeah, we respect the grappling, but you gotta lead up with some hands.
It reminds me of a lot of what Roddy Ferguson says, in that jiu-jitsu has lost its way in the ideas of Budo, whether it's the rule set, the time, like everything related to it's drifted away from actual fighting. When you mentioned that, the Mackenzie Dern thing, no other sport is it okay for you to give up the high ground and say that you're in an advantage. And if you don't engage on the low ground with the person, you're avoiding the fight. And that made it abundantly clear with the Mackenzie Dern aspect of that fight. And then you look at two of the best middleweights, they're primarily strikers. You got guys like Kamaru Usman, who was a wrestler, but he knocks people out. He just got knocked out.
You know, Carla Esparza is a wrestler, and she lost.
And she lost. She got grappled up. She got grappled up, but you got to be able to diversify, and you got to be able to maintain the high ground. And there's more to fighting than just the grappling aspect. But man, shout out to Alex Pereira. That was pretty sick knockout. I don't think it was an early stoppage because Izzy did not know where the fuck he was. He was just punch drunk.
He was getting showered on. Like, yeah, it's odd to see that with him. So
when your eyes are looking down at the ground and like the ref stops you like to jolt you up, It's over. It's all over but the crying. Any other not wrestling. Oh, I got wrestling on my brain. Any other jiu-jitsu updates?
Yeah, definitely. It was a bad night for Brazilians in the jiu-jitsu scene, so I'm really glad that Pereira was able to do something for the country in MMA. But who's number one was, that's not the outline, that is my notes. Who's number one was on Friday, November 11th. So very interesting card. Maisa Bastos, lightweight. We're going to start with the females this time. Maisa Bastos fell to Canadian. What is her name? Brianna, I guess it's STE, St. Marie, Brianna St. Marie, which is crazy because Maisa is the queen of the Berimbolo, submits everybody. She is on everybody's back, but, her time came. And Ethan Krellinson tapped out Fabricio Andre. So that's wild. Hakogi also met his downfall. Who's number one?
Oh, yeah. What can you say? You got to deal with the specialists out in the game, and that's bound to happen if you guys are competing often enough. At that level with that aspect of grappling, it's no surprise, even though someone with the accomplishments that Fabricio Andre has, that would happen. Because when you go out there, everyone's good. At the black belt, anyone can get caught any day of the week. And if you're a guy like Fabricio Andre that does do all aspects of grappling, you're going into a specialty. That's bound to happen.
Mm-hmm. And you got to think, he's been competing so much, and that really does take a toll on your body. I know you said you wanted to talk about injuries later, but, not just having full-on injuries, but, that constant competing, that's just banging your body up. So not to give him any excuses, but it's just interesting to see, the trajectory that he's gone in the last couple of months.
It's going hard. How old is he? He has to be early 20s.
He's young.
When you're at that age, it doesn't matter. You're just out there banging all the time. You're not affected. You still have that superhuman recovery.
Yeah, it reminds me of May when he was here and he lost his glasses. He couldn't see anything for months when he was training for Worlds, and it was giving him headaches. And he could barely communicate it to anybody else. I don't know how you doing that. I would have flipped out. I need to read. I need to work. I would need my glasses.
He was ass out.
Get a birthday on him. He was born in 2000. He is 22, a little baby. March 5th.
Really?
Yeah.
Jeez Louise. These guys are so young and just so good and just so able to just recover. Well, shout out to Ethan Krellinson. Good for him. I think Fabricio is going to be back. He's still really young. He's still going to be able to make a lot of waves in the sport. Just a minor setback, but man.
No, you said something about these young guys, and that reminds me of a quote that I saw. I'm trying to pull it up now on Victor Freitas Comunica. Again, it's in Portuguese. I'm going to translate it. It is from, what's his name, Nicholas Rayner. Who that?
I don't know who that is.
I don't know who that is.
I still don't know who that is.
Okay, so whatever. Nicholas Rayner, he said, esses jovens que estão começando. So, these young dudes that are starting now, the Mika Gaval and the Rodul brothers, they're, having a really spectacular game because, they're in this to make money, and they already have, a clear, it's not like when you got started and it wasn't about, the money. It's they're in it to make money, and, you're not getting money by winning off advantages. So it's forcing them to come up with, this new, really creative game.
It's always been the goal to tap people out. I just think that I hate that whole idea that you're not good if you don't tap everybody out. That shit is dumb. I know it's supposed to be exciting, and I get what he's saying. I think it's not an issue of them looking up a new style. Is that they've been doing jiu-jitsu for so long, their whole life, and now they are becoming men, and that learning curve is so high that now that they're grown-ass men and they're strong and they can put oomph behind it and they haven't reached their physical peak yet, but technically and tactically they're ahead of the game, they're going to take over. And they're going to, by submitting all these people, they're showing the skill gap and the experience gap, and it's only going to get wider because not only can they excel in no-gi, but they can excel in gi, and they have that old school training methodology where you have to put the gi on so that you can get better at these other things. And you're starting to see is, you have people that specialize, but these guys have been doing jiu-jitsu so long, they're going to take L's, but they're going to tap a lot of people and look really good doing it. There comes a point in your journey where you've reached a breaking point where you can quit, or like you've maxed out everything, and like people just fall off, or then you have a breakthrough, and then you reach a higher level of understanding and just toughness where it never goes away. That's where they're at 20, 21, 22. Young. So over the next 10 years, you might see Ruotolos do like Galvao did, is like you win Gi Worlds and then you win ADCC, which to me is really impressive. Being able to do both, and then they're gonna fuck around and make a lot of money because people are throwing a lot of money, and they're still competing a lot. Yeah, and you're gonna get better.
And like the other announcement is like Cade is he's fighting at one championship. Like they have another one coming up in December 2nd. So he's fighting Mateus Gabriel. So you got to think, like, being so young, traveling all the way out to like Asia, the people that are competing at Spider, having these opportunities to go like so far and actually win some money because these competitions are paying. So it's definitely an interesting change to the sport.
I had a talk with Highwell previously, and he said...
Recently?
Not recently, like spring. And
before his parting with Flo.
Oh, before that, yeah. And he said my generation kind of missed the boat by a few years. Because like 10 years ago, I was in these guys' position, not black belt, but up and coming, and the position these guys are in at this age compared to what, like 10 years ago when I was their age, really great position for them. And I am really happy. I'm really happy that these guys got this chance because they put the work in. And I mean, we'll see how far we can take it. Is this another jiu-jitsu bubble? Possibly. Is it just a sign of things to come? We don't really know. But so far, man, they're just killing the game, and they might be able to be the ones to bring jiu-jitsu to the international forefront. Maybe. Maybe.
Yeah. But it's like that. One thing I noticed about that is that they're going to be showing it on Prime. Do they always show one on Prime?
I think now they have a new deal.
Oh, okay. So I thought that was really dope because people complain about, not having opportunities in the sport and needing growth. And then like they complain about flow grappling a lot. And if the only place there you can actually watch the sport is flow grappling, that kind of makes it hard to expose other people. So it'll be interesting to see.
No one's paying all that every month.
What?
No one's paying that everybody.
Exactly. Like you got to get on that community flow or the torrent. So it's really cool that it's going to be like jiu-jitsu on something that's a little bit easier to see because everybody got Amazon Prime,
Everyone does Amazon. That'll be better. Streaming. Maybe they might be trying to take flow out of business. One is if they have events all the time, but I don't know about one's money. I keep on hearing things like they don't got the money or.
Oh, for real?
Yeah, like they're just hemorrhaging money.
I mean,
hey, get that shit in while you can, folks.
I think that, it's important. Like, because when we were talking with Alfonso about organizing and creating unions, and like before unions is really understanding like where the power is and like how you can get money and who's paying and things like that. Like, I was even writing or thinking a little bit about Teddy Kids Project and everything that I do in Brazil, which I've kind of stepped back a little bit, letting them work on their own. But another reason, like I was talking about Diego Bispo, like I need to drop something off down there. I need to record something with him. But he asked me if I could write a letter for a brown belt from Rio that's trying to get an athlete visa. And since I actually have like a nonprofit and the podcast, and Favela Jiu-Jitsu, like it gives like a lot of credibility to him actually getting a letter. And when I went through, like, he sent me the template, and then I had to fill it in, and I saw, like, where the guy trained, and he trained at Instituto Reacção, which is a judo nonprofit in Rio, outside of the Rocinha favela, and it's Flavio Canto runs it. You know who that is?
I absolutely do know who Flavio Canto is, yeah.
So he comes from Flavio Canto's project, and I actually went there and wrote an article for Favela Jiu-Jitsu when I was being contracted out for flow grappling. So, not only was I able to write the letter with the IEN and actually be like, all right, you can see the article on Flow Grappling, which is a major news site, about where this athlete actually comes from and like the social impact of the project. So that's dope. Like those things like really help athletes get their visas and be able to have more opportunities training. Like if there's like no money for them in Brazil to like make money teaching, giving private classes, or pay for their nutrition so that they compete, because it's a lot that goes into a fight camp. It's not just signing up for the competitions, which are $100, 100 plus, and then you gotta like eat right, cut weight, like you gotta go to training, and like that's a lot of money that goes into it. So sometimes being here and being able to be sponsored like really gives athletes an opportunity. So it's dope to see that, like, yes, like they are still coming. There is like, we get caught up in that Gordon Ryan and all that bullshit, but it's really dope to see like somebody else trying to like secure their spot here.
Wow. That's really dope. That reminds me when like Muhammad Ali came over here. A lot of guys came over here to get the visas to train, and it's a lot involved, but I think it makes a lot of difference in people's lives. You can really give somebody an opportunity to make the best of themselves and put themselves in a better situation all through the martial arts. And it's a beautiful thing.
Really is. It really is. So other than that,
You wanted to talk about some Bolsonaro updates since we're on the subject of Brazil.
Ended out on Brazil. So, and this came from a Patreon. He was posting like, was Andre Galvão on our list of like the rightist?
No, well, he's a Bolsonarista.
Yeah, so the elections in Brazil are over, and Bolsonaro is finally out. And in true Trump of the Tropic fashion, everybody in Brazil started protesting. There was like thousands of people in the streets. So Galvão had posted on his Instagram, like the streets are just full. It looks like it's swarming with like cockroaches or something. And he's like all these people peacefully protesting, I guess, like the death of democracy or whatever, because their president didn't win. So yeah, he's another one, which is crazy because he trained with Ted today. Like, you know, he's old school. Like, but yeah. So,
that's crazy. That's right.
It's so just another one on the list. So it's another one on the list. You know, Andre Galvão is going on our list of, you know, those fighters that we unfollow on Instagram. And I want to say, like, I guess the election has infected me, like, personally, because what I was trying to figure out in Rio with Ted Today Kids Project, like, everything, it's just like if certain person's in office, people in Brazil get like power and rights. So if somebody in like the local Rio election had gotten in office, they would have paid out salaries to all of the professors at Today Kids Project, and like none of them get salaries pretty much for a whole year. But they didn't get elected in the office, so it's like bye-bye salaries. And I was like, oh my God, like how is it that like, you know, you still can't apply for these salaries even if it was somebody else in office? But that's just kind of how things are, and like why listeners had asked us to like talk about like the elections in Brazil and the implications like for the jiu-jitsu community, because a lot of the athletes, you know, that live in favelas like this, that are like top athletes, like, you know, Dudu or Eduardo from Checkmate, like the Jansen brothers from Checkmate, they're all from Cantagalo, and like they're all like subject to like these police operations and stuff that happened under Bolsonaro. So thankfully he is gone.
Yay!
And we can cheer. Congratulations
to the nation of Brazil. Shout out to all the favelas. Shout out to everybody out there repping hard. Anything else you want to add before we wrap?
No, what time do we have? Did you want to talk about injuries?
We can talk a little bit about injuries. I don't know how much time we have left on this show. Right, are we even recording?
Yes.
How long have we been recording for?
24 minutes.
All right. Well, I just, you know, having to deal with the medical system here in this country, it had me thinking about all the injuries I had from the sport. And wow, if you're an athlete, you need insurance. You definitely need insurance if you're a fighter. Just all the long-term effects of training hard every day. I just think about how crazy it is that I didn't get more shit broken on me, because I'm training twice a day hard every day, except maybe Saturday evening, Sunday, but you're training every day. And if you're, I don't know how it is now with full-time grapplers, but you're not getting a lot of sleep, typically. For all the guys that run schools and compete, you're not getting much sleep, man.
But if you are competing and training, I think it's important to prioritize sleep. Like,
yes, it's super. As a human being, you need to prioritize sleep because that is the key to your recovery.
As a human being, it's one thing. I think we slip on it as a human being. But as an athlete, you know, you need to like really make sure you're getting in what you need for your body to recover. Then you're just gonna have to start steroids. But like, I do recognize most people don't do that.
Yeah, most people don't. I have, I had that surgery on my intestine from a grappling accident
with DJ Jackson.
Yeah, it's all DJ's fault. That was a major surgery, and I would probably still be having to pay for it if I didn't have insurance. Good insurance at the time. But I'm thinking about like long-term injuries, like arthritis. Like my fingers, I've broken pretty much every finger, except for like my thumbs. But like my hands are just fucked up. My neck, it might have been from. It's definitely my neck has just always been bothering me. But the worst for jiu-jitsu is my back. I don't know if I'm the only one. Maybe it's not a lot of people that have bad backs, but my back hurts every single day. And it's from judo, but it's also from wrestling. And for grappling, it damages your body because you're always under tension.
Yeah.
Your whole body is under tension the entire time. It's not like striking where you're supposed to be loose. In grappling, you can kind of relax, but it's time under tension for your whole body. And I think that's part of the reason why grapplers are so strong. And when they get in these MMA fights, if you're a really good grappler, you're real dangerous because you're just strong as an ox. And you just can be under tension for a long time when you're grabbing a motherfucker. However, being under tension and being in these stances, dude, that fucked my back up. Like I have old man back at 30.
I mean, it definitely will. That's why I had to have hip surgery, it was a torn labrum, so it wasn't exactly my hip, but that's the importance of really taking care of your body and stretching and eating right and sleeping. And we've talked to people like Natalie and Osiris who do yoga and massage, and like the importance of like he did on their Patreon. It's like a whole hour or 45 long video that he shows how to like stretch out and warm up each part of your body. And like it's extensive to go through. It's hard to get through the whole thing, but like realistically, if you were to focus on your body, like it's like Bruce Lee? Yeah, Bruce Lee used to study like kinesiology, and like he studied like everything about the body, and that's how he was so good. And that's really important. It's something that I learned from Claudia Galdelia, like training with her when I first started getting into like MMA, because she was like all about her nutrition. Like, you know, she'd have her little vitamins, she'd have her meal plan. It would be like chicken, sweet potatoes, and Brazilian sweet potatoes are a little bit different. They're not as sweet, they're healthy. And then like she was the one that taught me like to drink, what was it? It was like beet and carrot juice, but a lot of times they put beet, carrot, and orange juice, when like the acidity from the orange juice will cancel out the beets, and just like being really specific like with your nutrition, because you're training like really hard. And then like supplements, for example, like BCAAs and glutamines, those are only like supposed to supplement like a healthy diet. But like especially in America, like I hate food in America. It's really hard to eat healthy and not eat processed food and eat fresh food or like fresh natural juices. So I think that's something that a lot of athletes don't take into consideration. Like, and when you really invest in your nutrition, like it really helps to prevent injuries and like recovery time and increases your energy and everything. But, you know, I'm sitting here sipping on like coffee with eggnog, like not following my like own instructions, but I'm also like not training really hard. Like when I train super hard, then my body will shut down if I'm eating like junk food. I don't know how guys, and I've seen so many people do it, like they go train like 2 times a day and then go get like McDonald's or Popeyes or Chipotle.
It's all the oil in the food that lubricates your joints so you can keep pushing.
We're gonna have to bring on a nutrition.
Well, on that note, Nico, where can we find you?
Yo, y'all, you can find me on Instagram at no_new_Nico. That's no_new_Nico. My new website is almost done, Portuguese for BJJ.com. You can go there right now and sign up, get a free vocabulary guide. But I misled somebody into buying a Portuguese book, and now I feel really bad. So I'm about to launch my BJJ library. So you can get techniques in Portuguese with subtitles, transcripts, vocabulary lists, and worksheets to help you learn Portuguese in a way that's fun and easy and not a lot of weird grammar that you're never going to use.
You can find me at Tim Spriggs BJJ on Instagram and Facebook. You can also find me at MushmasterWins on Twitter. Follow us on Patreon at patreon.com/BJJGoons. We have bonus episodes, bonus content like full yoga workouts. We even have some old school match breakdowns, town halls, all of that at patreon.com/BJJGoons. If you'd like a private lesson, a seminar, or do you want me to critique your matches or even make a game plan for you, go to timspriggsbjj.com. On behalf of Nico, I'd like to say thanks for watching the pod, and until next time, peace.